One of the interesting things that I picked up, not like that in Spain, was obviously the fact that the Ballon d'Or is such a massive deal. Like in England, we didn't really cover it that much. And it was only when I moved to Madrid, it was everywhere, all the time. Everybody talking about it. And that has certainly become global now because of social media. So I can only imagine the reaction to yesterday's announcement, Sid, that obviously it's cancelled for the year.
Yeah, I remember actually being in Madrid and speaking to Michael Owen about this, who of course joined Real Madrid. He won the Ballon d'Or in 2001, and him saying that when he won the Ballon d'Or, Gerard Houllier had to really impose upon him. Look, this is big, Michael. This really, really matters. That he didn't consider it a really massive thing. I think you're right. In the UK now that's changed. All around the world it's changed. But at Real Madrid it was huge. And one of the reasons he joined Real Madrid was because he came with that Ballon d'Or under his arm. And that was really, really important for them. You're right about the reaction here. I mean, it's not been quite, I must admit, quite as furious as I thought it would be. But when I first heard this, and I must confess, I think it's a bit of a shame. You know, it's a season in which there has been football. So I see no reason why you shouldn't mark that, why you shouldn't try and find the best player. But my initial reaction, I must confess, was brilliant. We save ourselves all of that nonsense. We don't have to go through all the rubbish again. But honestly, I must have had that idea for about a minute. Because within about a minute of this being announced, immediately you got all that nonsense, but there will be no resolution to it. Because all the nonsense was, oh, what a disgrace, it's been cancelled. They've robbed Lewandowski. Yep. They've robbed Karim Benzema. They've robbed Sergio Ramos. I don't know who else they've robbed this year, but they've robbed loads of players who, of course, those fans were going to champion anyway. It's an absolute disgrace. And in the end, we all know that the Ballon d'Or should be yours.
Sid, I'm going to ask you, and it's going to annoy you, but tough. Straw poll.
Don't do it, please.
If we went around Spain at the moment, and obviously Catalonia, Madrid, blah, 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 Benzema or Messi more worthy of the Ballon d'Or solely on what's happened in La Liga this season?
Well, I mean, in a way, that's the problem. And I know this sounds like I'm avoiding the answer. I promise I'll get to it in a minute. In a way, that's the problem. Because, of course, the Ballon d'Or is a European-wide award, and we knew that this year's Ballon d'Or was largely going to be driven by what happened in the European Championships. Yep. In the absence of the European Championships, we know it's going to be largely driven by what happens in the Champions League. Right, even though it's a strange Champions League, even though it's like a free-game tournament in Lisbon, right? So we don't really know who the outstanding candidates are. If we strip that away and we go to domestic leagues, then the outstanding candidates, I guess, are someone from Liverpool or Lewandowski right now. If we're going to go to Spain, and you're right to say that there is a debate in Spain, I think the fact that Real Madrid have won the league, I think the fact that Messi is always a victim of his own success and sets the bar so high that as soon as he comes below the bar, despite the fact that everyone else is below the bar as well, it's seen as a terrible season. I think the strongest candidates from a Spanish point of view, and as I say this with the bias of the two sort of sides of the media pushing their candidates, I think the stronger candidate probably is Karim Benzema, or maybe even Sergio Ramos. And I think the player that got championed from a Spanish point of view would have probably depended on the Champions League. Purely on La Liga, yeah, I think it's probably Benzema.
Oh, Sid. Turns his back on Lionel Messi's record-breaking season. Once again, the anti-Messi rhetoric coming from ESPN's La Liga, man. Thank you very much, Sid. No Ballon d'Or, much to the delight. And then anger from Craig Burley, as you would expect. You can check out Extra Time yesterday where we discussed it at length.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.